Hey.
What's up?
We'll get started with you, Coach. You have a starting quarterback returning to campus this year for the first time since Matt Grimard in 2013, Chase Kinnaman. Talk about Chase's development, both on the field as well as in the huddle.
Well, it's, we're very pleased that we have a guy that we have figured out already what he can and cannot do. In the last 2 years, we really haven't had that. We had to do it very quickly in camp. So honestly, we're very excited about that. Make no mistakes, though, the guys behind him are gonna come in and compete. Chase knows that. He's been told that, and that's why Chase is who he is, because he is a competitive kid. But he had a great offseason. He had a great spring. We talked a decent bit over the summer here, and he's ready to go. So we are very, very happy to have a guy finally, because you can't teach experience, and that's the one thing that I think is what we've been lacking a little bit. So from a team standpoint, and Dustin will probably reiterate this, we're just going to be a little more comfortable now. But again, it's not necessarily his job at all, and he knows that. So our young guys in the program are going to come in and compete, and so will Chase, and we're excited to see what happens.
You brought in a new defensive coordinator, and you have to replace last year's PAC Defensive Player of the Year in Donovan Hayden. Can we expect to see any changes schematically this season defensively?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, obviously, whenever you bring somebody in new from a play calling standpoint, they're going to do what they feel comfortable doing. I think we're always going to, each year, probably change a little bit, no matter who we are, based on our strengths. And to replace somebody like Donovan Hayden is like everybody says about all their good players as they graduate, you can't. I mean, his production was, we're going to find that guy or a few guys because he was that productive. But our strength of our team, which is we'll talk about some more, is going to be the defense, and we know that. And I don't think you'll see a whole bunch of change in what we do defensively, but of course we're going to change a little bit because it's going to be a different guy calling plays.
Coach, last question for you. With over 15 starters coming back this season, what do you see as the team's greatest strength heading into camp?
Well, certainly, like I just kind of mentioned, the defense, and certainly within the defense, our defensive line. We think they're as deep as a group as maybe in Division III. We have a bunch of guys who we think we're going to be able to rotate in. We think we're going to be able to get after the passer. And again, we have a bunch of guys returning who played a good amount of football for us. Last year that was a bit of a struggle for us. They were younger and they played. But again, we hope that experience, moves us forward this fall. But we are certainly going to rely on our defense and certainly those front four guys. And we think we may have 6 or 7, maybe even possibly 8. They're going to be able to rotate in there and really, really keep us competitive and really push our whole team forward.
Coach, thank you. Dustin, we'll move on to you. You had quite a breakout campaign last season, going from 2 catches in 2015 to 24 in 2016. Talk a little bit about how your role will change or evolve this year, not only as a returning starter, but as a senior leader on your team.
Obviously, the position I play, tight end, you want to be the security blanket for your quarterback. You want to be able to catch every ball that's thrown to you. And with us graduating a star receiver last year in Tyler Ambush, me being the second leading receiver from last year, I'll have to step up and make some more catches, become a bigger part of the game. And as far as being a leader, just bring the mindset of work ethic to the team and just try to get us past these few years where we think we could have won some games that we kind of let slip away.
In your 3 seasons with Bethany, the Bison have entered the year with a new man under center. Is there a certain level of comfort with having Chase back in the huddle again? Also, talk a little bit about the continuity the two of you have built the past few years.
Me and Chase are actually pretty close friends. He's one of my closer friends outside of football. I roomed with him for a year at school, so me and him have a personal relationship. Obviously, bringing a quarterback back with experience is helpful to any team. You don't want to start out with a new guy. And I think him, as far as the other 2 quarterbacks I've had in my time, he's more of a leader, and he runs the offense a lot better. He's not just great talent. He's just a player that goes out and he's going to do whatever he can to win a football game. And I think the team really responds to that.
Last question for you. Your team ended the season with back-to-back wins last year. How much of that momentum was carried into the offseason? And talk about where you saw your team improve the most throughout your spring practices.
Obviously, it was great to end on 2 wins. The season didn't go as planned, but obviously those last 2 wins were something we could carry in. Into the offseason, I think we just worked a little bit harder than we have the past few years. The recruiting class that came in, the people who are going to be sophomores this year, they really took to the mentality of getting into the weight room and working hard and putting in their time in spring ball so that when this season comes that they're ready to play and there's no really transition period during camp. They can just come out, compete for a championship.
Dustin, Coach, thank you guys. Bethany will get its season underway September 2nd at Ursinus College.